Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 4 of TNP Limitless. I have been working on the farm here, adding some more seeds, building it up, and there's some other contraptions I want to build, so let's get started. Dun, 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 dun. I was a little bit soon on the intro there. Alright, yes, I've been adding more seeds. I started out with the Inferium. That ran pretty well. Got 118,000 of the stuff, and I've actually used a lot of it. I made iron seeds, I made glowstone seeds, gold. These are, you have to look here, fire seeds. These are nether seeds, diamond, emerald, and nature. Just as I needed them, and I'll be adding more. And yes, that does produce the fertilized essence, so I've got a tank for that. And I've just been adding them, each one, to the list here, and they're all filtered specifically for what they do. If you don't filter them, something else can actually come into this slot and jam it up. So, unfortunately, it doesn't lock this slot to what's in here. It really should. It makes automation a little bit more complicated that you have to filter. And they all just have the connectors on the back. But I used a lot of this stuff, upgrading it with the infusion crystals, which are a recipe like this. Again, they only have 1,000 uses. But I went ahead and I made this one once I had the first 4, actually 6, because you need 2. To do the prosperity gem, and then I could upgrade the rest using that tool, which is unlimited usage. I used a lot of the supremium to make this supremium soil, which if I break it, it turns back into regular soil, so don't break it. I also don't put a block on top of it. That will turn it back into dirt. Water is safe, thankfully, because I use water to break everything and place new seeds down. Right now we're growing iron. I figured I had enough of this stuff. I have not only one farmland accelerator dude, I've got 3 more of them around the sides. These guys are not hooked up to anything, so whatever they collect just stays in them. They still do cause accelerated growth in a 5 radius, from what I could tell. When I had just the one, and I planted a new farm, just 5 blocks out and 5 blocks over in front of them grew faster. I assume it's a radius, but I have them all facing inward and they're around the edges. So between the supremium soil, which increases the drop rate for a particular harvest, and these guys, which are accelerating the growth, it works pretty well. And like I said, I've got lots of stuff. We're currently at little over 6,000 of the essence of iron as we record this segment, and we'll check on it later to see how it's doing. I also used the essence to make supremium armor, and I used the emeralds and diamonds and such that I was making to make the emerald jetpack, which takes a lot of emeralds, and this one uses gold. The top 3 tiers use gold, so emerald, diamond uses these gold advanced coils, and emerald, diamond, and gold, yeah, all require gold for these coils. And then you go to the iron, which is basic coil, just uses iron, and then below that is stone, and below that is wood. So it took a lot of redstone, a lot of, and that wasn't redstone, that's just the wood. Bunch of furnaces, a lot of iron, there's the redstone, sticks, and a lot of the materials. And that's why I went ahead and made iron, gold, diamond, emerald to tier up. And I also have plenty of wood and stone, so that wasn't a problem. And this thing holds 40,000 FE. I also upgraded these guys again. Now they are tier 6, and they produce 2,000 FE a tick each. And there's 2 of them. So they charge things up pretty quickly. While I was to do the seeds, I was using the field itself to start a new seed, but I changed it to make this little plot here. What I do is I make the new seed over there, and then I plant it in front of him. I got the upgraded watering can, the diamond watering can, which is very fast. Let's, what do I have very little of? Yeah, emeralds. So let's just get one emerald as if we had just made it. Plant it in front of him, hit it with this watering can. He does the harvesting. Check him. Yep, there's a seed. So plant that seed, do some more watering. And you very quickly get, this whole plot up with seeds, and you can get plenty of seeds this way. You can even just walk away and leave him to do his job on his own without the watering can. But this speeds the process up. Once it's full, then you can walk away, and eventually he'll have lots of seeds for you, and you can transplant. Once you have 3.5 stacks, 3.5 stacks is enough to fill this whole plot. So once he gets 3.5 stacks, then he's good to go. Put these away. I used a lot of the emeralds, so I need to make more. That'll probably be the next field I plant. First project chest, over here. Well, first I made this. This is a quartz log, quartz tree. If we over-excavate the bottom, it all falls down. Drop some saplings. I had to dig a hole in the ceiling. To make these saplings, you just put 4 quartz block around any other sapling. There's something odd about the way they grow. If I put it down here and I water it. Oh, this time it worked. When I was first doing it, I would only see this bottom block of the log. The rest of it would be invisible. If I tried to jump up there, it would prevent me from jumping on the block. Because it was there, you just couldn't see it. As soon as I broke this, everything else would appear. So, you think, what does this get you? Well, there's a lot of... There's a lot of different saplings in this mod. And gems and irons, coal, diamond. The logs you can take, and I made this extended furnace, which is basically a blast furnace, or it's in blast furnace mode. If you put the logs of whatever type it is in here, oh, it's got some experience, it will give you the material. So it's a way, if you have a tree farm, to make more materials, just like using the plants. But because I don't have a tree farm set up, and I'm sure there's some blocks in here we can use to make various different types of tree farms. I haven't done that. These can also, and this probably the primary use of the mod, is to make decorative blocks using these, like the logs and these planks, which are sort of nice looking. It's a nice blonde wood. The others, of course, give you other colors. I don't do a lot of building in wood, but I might use these. And it gives you some sticks. Alright, so now that I've got my mining laser and this jetpack both requiring power, I was looking at options to power them remotely. And I looked into one of the new mods that was added to the pack, Power. Its NEI is not very well sorted. Things are sort of scattered about, even though there's multiple tiers of things. But it does have a book, which I made. It's just a book in some of this dielectric paste, which is coal, clay, and a bucket of lava. And it talks about what's in here, and it was the player transmitters that interested me. There's a basic one, and one that works across dimensions. I thought, alright, I've got materials, let's make the across-dimension one. It requires a binding card. So, how do you make this player, this guy, dimensional player transmitter? It requires the basic. So you have to make the basic first, and then it'll take 2 Eyes of Ender, and then these blazing capacitors, which require blazing crystals, that dielectric paste we already saw, the capacitors, which are basic capacitors, dielectric paste. Alright. That we don't know how to make, the blazing crystal. We also have to make these dielectric rods. That's okay. There's two different varieties, a horizontal and a vertical. The hardened capacitor, which requires energized steel. The rest we know how to make. So we need to make energized steel. And then this player aerial pearl. Use an aerial pearl on a zombie or husk. So the player, that's the aerial pearl. So that one's cheap, just one ender pearl, iron and the dielectric paste, and then you go and just right-click a zombie, or is it left-click? One of the two. And it turns into the player pearl. Alright, so we got that part. So now, the unknown materials, these energized steel, that requires an energizing orb and one or more of these energizing rods. And they come in different levels, which increase the speed. Having more of them also increases the speed. It's all in the book. So, in here, I've got an energizing orb and one basic energizing rod. Put the orb down here. Put the rod on top of there, and this is set to output power, because that needed it. And now we just need some gold. And we're just going to make one here for demonstration purposes. And iron. Put that away. And you just right-click on the top part, not the bottom part. Oop. Oop. Give me those back. You can right-click with an empty hand to take out what you put in last. There. Once you got two, and a recipe that it likes, it starts beaming at it, and then you get two of the energized steel. The blaze rods, by themselves, takes much longer, but that will get us the other material we need, this blazing crystal, which you can also use for blaze powder, or one blaze rod. And actually, I'm just going to take that out, because I only have a couple left, and they're a pain to make, because I need lava. I need to get a source of lava. But you go ahead and make all that. And Julia Child will be proud. I have it pre-made. I also made this binding card, which is cheap. It's just redstone rotten flesh and a binding card, just either of the rods. So we need to place it down on something, and I thought don't have anything on top of this guy over here. So we'll pop it on top here. And the binding card, you have to right-click it in the air, and that binds it to you, owner Nonsanity. Drop it in here. This has got power, and now it should be charging my stuff up. So my emerald pack is currently charged. If I hover a bit, see that it's going down. It is, because this thing doesn't fill it as fast as I use it. But there it goes. It's going back up. And that will work across dimensions, because I made the more expensive version of it. Very handy. This thing is quite speedy in the emerald mode. There it is, all the way filled up. So it takes about 3 times as long as you're flying to make it filled, but anytime you're just walking around, it will be filling up. Same with the laser. It won't keep up with actual mining, but it does a good job in filling up when you're just walking around. I've put it away because it was full. Otherwise, I'd probably keep it in my inventory in its usual slot here. I wanted to get started on making some of the mob seeds for Mystical Agriculture. So I made a Solium dagger, and I made 4 soul jars. And with the jetpack, I flew around at night and made sure I had one of these. I had all these soul jars in my inventory, and I only killed Enderman. And as soon as I got one Enderman in the jar, I put it here in my backpack. Because once they're locked to Enderman, they won't be filled by anything else. But it takes 4 full jars to make the seed, and that takes 10 kills each. So that's 40 Endermen, and they're hard to find with the other types of Endermen that are in this pack. And they don't count, unfortunately. I also made a Dank null. Well, it's just a Dank Storage. You right-click it, and you can preload block types in here. And if you pick up the blocks yourself, they will go in here in this mode, which is bag mode. I think that's what it says. Yep, current use type bag. Press I to change mode. If you set it to chest, you can place it down in the world and open it like a chest. If you change it to construction, then when you crouch right click, no. Well, what's going to happen when I right click? Alright, cobble. I guess you have to change mode to bag. How do you set which material you want to use? Well, no, that just took it all out. I'm not sure. That's chest mode construction, but then you basically place the material. Let's see if it also picks up. Nope. Only bag mode does that. So if you're going to be doing destruction, did not go in back into the bag either. Well, anyway, I was using the mining laser, which bypasses normal pickup and goes straight to your inventory using the magnet feature on it. So what I do is as soon as I finished mining down a column, like I was doing, I would open this up and then just hold down shift and the left mouse button and drag across all the stuff. It would all go in here. If it was any of these, it would stack with them, and then everything else would appear after it, and then I just shift, left click, drag across all that to take it back to my inventory, and I'd put those into a crate. It worked pretty well. It was fast at the end of each cycle to process it out. Another mod that's been added to this pack are the bonsai pots. Love the bonsai pots. I always make the hopper type, and that's just some bricks and a hopper. Put that on top of a crate, put a piece of dirt in it, put a sapling on it, and it will start growing saplings. But at first I just had 4 crates over here with 4 different types of saplings on top, but of course those crates fill up too fast, so I needed something like I've got over here, where I have unlimited storage for all the materials that will be made by the bonsai pot, which includes the logs, the leaves, the saplings, and in the case of willow, some willow vines. Oh, and sticks. So over here, I've got my 4 pots, willow, redwood, birch, and oak, and they output their stuff into these crates below them, like so. And I set this thing up to pull everything out of the crates, extracts, and then insert into all of the quantum storage, again with a filter on each one because otherwise they will get jammed. So I've got the logs, the leaves, the saplings, the willow vines. Are those like just regular vines? Will they grow? Oh yeah. And sticks. This is powering it. See, I just have all the regular connectors on the back. But now that I've got plenty of logs coming in, let's do something with them. I want to make a mob farm that I can control, and the best way is using MineFactory Reloaded. And to do anything in MineFactory Reloaded, what was MineFactory? Oh, Industrial Foregoing. Excuse me. Forgot. Different name. Industrial Foregoing. The first thing you need is... where is it? Fluid extractor, which you put a piece of wood in front of it, and it extracts out latex, and then a latex processing unit to turn it into dry latex, which you then craft to make the plastic, and the plastic is used to make all the other blocks in the mod. So it's definitely the first step. We'll eventually need to use the pink slime because to make the... oh, you don't need the pink slime? Only for the bioreactor, huh? Oh, no, wait, you need to make the pink slime ingots, right? That doesn't have a use? Alright. Maybe we don't have... I haven't looked ahead. Well, I'll sort of fast forward over this as I realized the mod doesn't have the Mob Duplicator in it, and it's not going to in 1.14. So I can't use that to make a mob farm. Unfortunate. I wish it was available in 1.14. Maybe it'll be in 1.15. I think he's moved. Whoever's developing this has moved on to 1.15. So it's only got half the mod. Well, 3/4 maybe. And we'll make do. Well, I still like using these mob imprisonment tools. They're handy. And they need plastic and gas tiers eventually. I might have a way to make those, but we'll see in a bit. In the meantime, let's do what I was going to do anyway, because I already have all the parts. I've got 4 fluid extractors. I've got a bunch of these, this. I'll just get everything here. And put away my dank. So what I was going to do, another mod we've got in this pack is modular routers. And you get 4 modular routers for making this recipe, which is pretty cheap. Gold, paper, redstone, iron bars. You get 4 of the things. Plop it down here. Oh, no, wrong one. And this one already has it. These have lots of modules. Let's look at modular routers. There's a lot you can do with this mod, and I probably will be doing more with it now that I'm starting to play with it. All sorts of stuff. Activator, breaker, detector, distributor, dropper, extruders, flinger. I thought it was finger. And I said, what does finger do? Don't ask. Fluid module, placer module. That's what I wanted. Player module. So the placer module, let's see, we can right-click it in the air. And I've told it to be up. And I've left everything else the way it is. Looks like you can put in like modifiers to it. Like range upgrades, pushing augments, pickup delay, regulators, stack augment. Lots of augments go in here. This is various filter blocks. You can filter only a certain block, blacklist or whitelist, ignoring NBT, match item damage, match or dictionary, continue execution on match. That one's interesting. Continue execution on match. When we look in here, these operate in order. Each one happens in order. If we flip that continue execution or terminate, if you set it to terminate, then if it's running along here and it gets to that one and it matches, it'll stop. Otherwise, it'll go on to the next one. So that's a nice little feature. But we're doing a very simple use of it here. We're just saying placer, placing up. I turned eco mode on. It just makes it so if it's not used for 5 seconds, it will only wait every 5 seconds. This is a low frequency task it's going to be doing. What it's going to be doing is placing logs. The block, you can see I had this here set up in the exact same spot, so it's remembered that that block was being broken, and it's put the breaking symbols back on it. So now we're going to put some fluid extractors around it, like so. And they should be actually working, so they don't need any power. There they go. And they're going to start collecting liquid latex from that block. Now, I want to automate this stuff, so I'm going to put a network cable back there, a connector, network cable, connector, network cable, connector. So now all of them are connected to the network. Come over here. Do know that XNet is a little bit funky with the tooltips over here. You can see it's sort of overlapping some of these. That says fluid extractor, and it's overlapping what you can see popping out the background, wooden crate. So like there's 2 competing tooltips going on here. For some of them. This one just says fluid extractor. So we're going to make a fluid. There we go, fluid extractor. And we're going to make another item. For the item, I'm going to take the willow logs, which are this one. Hey, I can actually read it this time. We're going to be extracting out, single's fine, and we're going to be inserting them into the, this says fluid extractor, but you can see item router sticking out the side there. So we're going to insert, there we go. That should be putting willow logs into here. It's going up. So that's working. I've got a iron tank, which is iron, 4 iron and 4, come on, stone tanks. That's the cheaper one, which is 4 stone and 4 wood tanks, which is 1 log and 7 glass. You can keep tiering that up, but each one takes 4 of the previous, and this was 16 wooden tanks I had to start with. I'm going to put another one of these here. I'm going to make it so it's just up, because I don't want it connecting to the other blocks. And put a tank on top. Alright. Now we're going to extract on the fluid channel from all of the fluid extractors here. We're going to extract from the extractors and insert into the tank. And there, the tank in the tooltip is going up. It's got 450, 460. As soon as that gets 1 bucket's worth, we need that to make this guy, the latex processing unit, because it needs a bucket of latex and a bucket of water. And I'm going to put that, give it to me. I'm going to put that up here because it needs power. And we're going to attach it on the back. I don't have to do the power because it's directly touching it. And we're going to make a new fluid to extract from the tank and insert latex processing. This is it. Insert into there. It should be getting latex. There it is. But it also needs water. So I went ahead and made the infinite water source from overloaded. 2 buckets, diamond and glass, not expensive. And a convenient place to put it is over here. Find it in the list. There it is. And since we're inserting fluid on this channel into the, what's the, oh no, we're doing it on this channel. So we're inserting the latex on here. We'll also extract water from here, and that should also then go in there. There it goes. And it is now producing tiny dry rubber. As soon as we get 9 of these, we can make 1 larger dry rubber. And I've got the 6 that I made while I was testing this. So that's 9. Craft those together. We get the dry rubber. Run over here, and I will see if this duplicates. This thing tends to duplicate everything, not just ores. Yep, 2 plastic. Nice. I have 1 ender pearl here just in case I ever accidentally use all of them in here. Which, no, I got 21. I just wanted 1. Anything I've got only 1 of. Ever since the watermelon seeds, I used, to make these little guys, the little farmer accelerators, you need watermelon seeds in the recipe. And I used up all my water seeds. I didn't realize I had so few. Is it raining? Doesn't seem to be raining. So I had to, that's why I made the nature essence, so I can make more watermelons, get the seeds. There, we got plastic for whenever we need it. And a nice little automated system to make it. And it will make lots of it too, because this thing will just keep feeding it wood from the wood farm. And when this thing backs up with 64 in every slot, and this is completely full, it'll start backing up into this tank, which holds 256 buckets. So it'll be a while. Actually, you know, isn't there a quantum tank? Work in progress. It's not working yet. Only the quantum storage. Otherwise I'd use that. Gonna jump back in here from the future. I did make, you can see the latex is fully loaded there. I did make one change, and that's these things can be powered, in which case they run much faster. So to power them, I added one more connector back here to the back of this power dimensional cell, and then made a power channel where it extracts from the RF Tools power cell and inserts it into these four machines. I could also make it insert into this guy, but he's sitting on top of the power cell, so he doesn't really need it. Yeah. Little change. Just in case you want this to go even faster, though, it's completely backed up now. I mean, guess I can take out all these. Now you can't shift click. That's slightly annoying. Don't know why this one's immune to the shift clicking. But yeah, now you can take these and W-click them all into inventory, or into the crafting table. Get my dry rubber and go craft it into 2 stacks of plastic. Yeah, I'm gonna have more plastic than I ever need. And if things look a little different, that's because I've been doing some extra stuff, and I've just rewound. As I was editing, I wanted to add that one change to this. I will say, because I haven't said it anywhere else in the rest of this video, I'll say it now. I'm playing around with silent gems. Haven't done much yet. I did make this thing, which is a pedestal, and on it is a perfect chaos orb, which sucks up chaos. It's looks like it's about 1/4 down. Because some of the... That's a trash can, that's just a tank of lava. Because some of the recipes here I was messing about with cause chaos. And it says up at the top what the recipe is going to do, how much it's going to make, in word form. And I made 2 chaos gems so far, Peridot and Ruby, based on what I've got in my storage system. And on the chaos, and I'll show how I do this later on, but on the chaos Peridot, no, you pronounce the T, Peridot, I put night vision. And on this Ruby, I put regeneration. So if you put them in your inventory, and I'll use this one because it's nighttime, so it's a good example, and you right-click it, boom, you got night vision. Boom. Lights on, lights off. Lights on, lights off. Now I changed it. Illuminate. Deilluminate. You try it. One of my favorite movies. All right, yeah, but when you're using them, it does cause chaos. Now, in this room, this thing will suck the chaos up, I think. But I was out traveling the world, and I had both of them on, and I started getting nausea, and... Well, not nausea. First I was getting poisoned, then I was getting nausea, then it just got worse and worse. And I realized, oh, it was these things. I wasn't sure what was going on. The first time I got the poison, I thought it was because I attached to my helmet a feeder helmet module, which can be attached to any helmet, and it's very, very cheap. And it's been feeding me my rock candy whenever I get hungry, which is nice when you're out and you're battling. You don't have to look at your food. It just feeds you automatically. The other thing I've been messing with, and again, I'll do a full detailed segment in an episode once I've gotten more to show. I've been playing around with the Powder Power mod. And also I'm getting some stuff ready to maybe make a mob farm, since we can't do the Mob Duplicator. We can use the animal net. So this is an Enderman spawner I built by making one of these mob nets, catching an Enderman in it, and then crafting it, surrounding it with fragments of broken spawners that I've collected. And that gets you a Enderman spawner. I haven't set it up yet. But these powders, you make a special hammer, which I've got here, the Alchemist Hammer. And you smash various ores, like you smash iron ore, or regular stone, or redstone, or obsidian, gold ore, lapis ore, diamond ore, prismarine blocks. To get the ender powder, you take ender pearls, and it comes with a mortar and pestle. Pretty easy to make. That gets you the ender powder. And then you start mixing these together in recipes like this. This gets me the gemmium blend. And you can cook that, to get the to get 2 gemmium. And then I made this lapium, which was the lapium blend, another mixture of all those powders. You get 4 of that. And if you take one of these, here we go. One of these gemmium and 4 lapium ingots, each to make a wand core, and then 2 wand cores, you get the alchemist wand. And that, which I've got in here somewhere, here it is, can do some interesting things, like, what's does a redstone block do? I don't think I tried that one. I did look it up on the web. You can find out what this wand does. Come on, give it to me. You put something down, you whack it. Oh, there, that turns it into glowstone. That turns it into a nether item. And you can also get end items that way. I made 4 end stone, and I made 4 purpur, which gets me pretty close to being able to make the end agglomeratio for mystical agriculture to make the end seeds, but I still need chorus fruit. I got the end stone, I got the purpur, but I don't have a way to make the chorus fruit without end essence, which I need the end seeds to do. Yeah, everything. So I'm going to have to go to the end to get that. I was hoping I could do an end run around it using this, but this doesn't make chorus fruit, unfortunately. Oh, and this tells you what the chaos level is. It says right above the... I click it, and it shows you just above my hotbar. World is currently 0. That's because that thing's doing its job. Anything else? I got a Bane of Ocelots and a Trillium. No, I haven't looked up what those do yet. Been using my Yoho, which I'll mention later on. I made this cup from Super Tools. Seems like a mining tool, but I don't know if it's any good or not. That looks. I made these RF collector. When you kill mobs, you have these little red glowing orbs that drop around, and you can't pick them up. This thing can pick them up. I've collected 10,000 RF, I guess. I haven't looked into what else you can do with that, but I collected it. All right, now back to wherever I left off in the episode. Sometimes enough passes between one scene and the next, I don't even remember what I was doing. You do. And that's good. That's enough. I know where I'm going next, and let's go there together. All right, project chest time. I've dug out more room back here, because I thought this was going too slow. Let's speed it up, and at the same time add another machine to this. So instead of the 2 water wheels, we're just going to use 1, and I'm going to put it right there. And that is going the wrong way now, so we need to put it on the back side. There we go. Now we're going to need a bunch of gears. So we're going to start, actually, I'm going to bring it out. Yep. And then large gear. And I'm going to bring out, don't need that one, small gear. Actually, don't need that either. Here we're going to put another big gear. Yep. And then put a little gear here. And a big gear there. It's starting to go faster, you see? Now Now we're going to put a little gear here, and then we're going to bring it back up to the front for another big gear. And another little gear here. That's right. All right, got it going. Got it going. Now a big gear. And up here, let's see where we went with this last gear. It's not the last gear, but all right, little gear there. Actually, a big gear behind it, and then a little gear here. That's it. We've gotten it going pretty fast now. So now to get the power over there and get it the right way around, we're going to put 2 of these. So what we're going to do over here, before we had the 2 water wheels, 1 water wheel on each. Simple, functional. Ignore the flashing, that's just the laser farming over there. We're going to put a rod here. And I'm going to slap a block between them, which is perfectly allowed, but looks weird. Put another one there. I've got some of these mechanical belts. They're just some cooked kelp. Connect those 2 together. Put a... the gear here. And here. Yeah. That's going to power over to here. Like that. So connect this to that. And now there. They should be going in the right direction. Let's see here. This thing is going that way. So it's spinning this section counterclockwise. That's going clockwise, and that's the way this one wants to go. The next gear reverses to counterclockwise again over this one, which is turning this from this side clockwise, clockwise and clockwise. So that one's spinning also the right way. So that should, yep, there's sparks. It's working. Let's grab some cobble and toss it in there. I'm going to need to take off my... I got a magnet from a treasure chest. Also a lucky horseshoe, so I don't get fall damage. And this increases length of invisibility with damaged. I don't know. It's the only one I've got. I tossed it in there. I found a different sort of dungeon than I'm used to and was going through it with my new weapon. A yo-ho. No, it's not something a pirate sings. It is a diamond yo-yo that acts as a hoe, useful for the farms. Well, not with this dirt. It comes pre-hoed, but for the other farms. And it acts as a pretty good remote weapon, especially when you're hovering above their head. They can't get you. All right, so that is going a lot faster. You can see it showing up 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and fast. That did the whole stack. Very good. And now we want to add another machine. So I'm going to put a block there with 2. And I'll put my magnet back on. Pick that up. And I'm going to connect here. I'm going to connect there with another conveyor belt. And onto this one, I've got a mechanical press. So anything passing under the mechanical press on this conveyor belt that it can do, which is iron and gold. Let's grab some gold. I've done iron. Let's do a stack of gold. Now you can do it one at a time. Well, again, turn off the magnet. Playing with create, you really can't have a magnet going. So there, put one on there. Stomp. And now it's a golden, what is it, golden sheet. But you can put a whole bunch on there like this, but it's going to do them, right, it did the first one. If you put a whole stack on, Oh, you have to actually get that out of the way before it'll go. Is it coming? Interesting. There we go. Much faster and a new machine. It's not as hidden, but I sort of like seeing the gears. I mean, that's the whole point of this mod, is to have the fun gears out on show. Let's see, I added quartz, I think, since I last saw you. I also, just in this farm over here, did up some dye seeds and put the dye essence into the storage system so I could make different colored dyes. I was running out of certain dyes that I needed. Yeah, I like this. So one water wheel powering everything at high speed. This mod knows nothing about torque. That's fine. It's just supposed to be fun. I think next time we need to set up a mob farm. Oh yeah, here's some of the heads I got. Let's see, it's a husk, I've forgotten the name of those night things. What are they called? And my magnet's off again. And I just threw it on the floor. Wish that was easier to turn on and off. It doesn't say what it is. You know, the things that come after you if you haven't slept recently. I got one of the traders dropped his head, and then I got it drowned in a zombie too. I've got skulls, but I haven't bothered to put any of those up there. I got tons of those from one of the dungeons. Alright. I think that's probably a good stopping point. Oh, I'm still got my jetpack on. That's a good stopping point for now. Oh no, I've got the necklace visible. Yeah, I don't really like that. I'm just going to, I don't want to give any messages that I'm favoring one religion over another, and that's sort of religious there. Alright, so until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.